Hello everyone, we are focusing on 3 vowel teams today. Now, the vowel team EW, which says it's long U sound, the IGH, which says it's long I sound, EIGH that says A and I. It's right here, especially the IGH and EIGH, they should be memorized, but it's super important that you understand the long sound. Now, when I say the long sound, that means it's going to be the sound of the name of the letter. So if I say the long U sound, the U sound can say different sounds depending on the consonant or vowel that comes before it. You could say ooh, eu, you. So just depending on that. And the long I sound will say the name of its letter. It says I. And then the long A and I sound. So look at this. If we say A, E, I, O, and U. These are all the vowels. And we have, if we have these long like that, this is going to say A, this is going to say E, this will say I, this will say O, and U, or EU, or OO. All right, there, and the A is so confusing. Now, EU, these are also called diphthongs, and I typically don't say diphthongs because I think...
Sounds like a mean word.
I think it's confusing than just saying vowel team, but you will use diphthongs a lot. You'll hear them a lot in music. And so it's good that you're recognizing them. Now, diphthong or vowel team just means that you are bringing letters together to make a specific sound, and which is going to create a certain word. And oftentimes, these diphthongs will have homophones. Not all of them, but oftentimes they will have homophones. Now, let's go to this section right here. We're going to do the word so. EW very seldom says O. This is a true, absolute, full-blown sight word. Most of the time it's going to say oo or EU or you. That's what it typically says. So this one you need to memorize that it is so, as in sew my clothes. And then we have so and so. They all sound exactly the same. They have completely different meanings. They look different, but they sound the same. So, S-E-W says so. So, as in sow the field. That means you're putting seed out into the field. Sow the grass, putting more seeds so it's thicker, more beautiful. And this is your coordinating conjunction, which when you think about a coordinating conjunction, co means with, and ordinate means in order. So that is your coordinating conjunction. So it's really important that you get these figured out. Okay, so here are some EWs that I pulled out, and it's going to say PU. It's going to say the EU sound because this is what happened. Now it's going to say EU, 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 EU. Now when you say it fast, PU. Can you hear that? Mm-hmm. Now you're going to have the soft, now when they say EU, now this won't be for every word. Most of the time that's going to be with the soft sounding letters. So if you fill your throat, you're going to go p, p. Your throat doesn't move. P, p. It's not vibrating. So that one is a P, but how about F? See how if you touch your throat, it's not vibrating. And same with ch, ch, ch. It's not vibrating. You do not have anything vibrating. And so it's going to force this sound to EU. EU. So fill your throat with k, k. And it's so interesting because I feel that k, the k sounds very hard and kind of abrasive, but it's not. It's a soft sound, so it's going to shoot you into the softer area and make different sounds with that. Now, let's go over these words. Pew, spew, nephew, few, curfew, few. Now we're gonna go you, few, you. So, but when you say it slow, you could totally say you, the letter U. But when you blend them together, it's going to actually say EU because of the soft sound. Your mouth will just naturally say that sound. Few, few, chew. Now, this one is interesting because spew and chew, I feel, can go both ways. You could say chew, chew. So this one, I feel, could also be over in this area where it's going to say ooh, but yet it's saying it's soft, it's saying a soft letter sound. And I think that because of the S, it's causing the P to kind of do the same thing with the EW, spew. So sometimes that happens and you just go with it. So you just need to know how it's going to blend together. Ooh, spew. But you can kind of hear the EU in there, or it just says you, spew. All right. Okay, so we have few, curfew, few, oh, like phew. So glad that's over. Chew or chew. See, I think it sounds better over there, but I wanted to put it over here because it's the soft sound. Cashew, cashew, ah. So it actually is going to break like this. Ash, and then we're having ooh by itself because this SH has to be on this side to force this A. This is the accented syllable right here. And the accented syllable is going to say the sound that you would expect. And in video 2, I think, I don't remember, but it's one of the newer English 101s. We went over closed syllables with A's over and over again so that you guys would know how to actually say that sound. Now, this says skew, which is really interesting because this is so important for your spelling. Now, this K right here, it is saying the K sound. But most of the time when we want the K sound, we always want to start it with a C, unless you just know it needs to be a K. The K is only used when you cannot use a C most of the time. So the rule is, if you have an E, I, or a Y, then you want to use, and you want the K, the hard K sound, then you are going to use a K. Let's say if you put a C there, S-C-E-W, it's not even a real word. It's going to say sew, sew. And this E is forcing this C to say the soft C sound, which is, it's an S sound. But all of these letters, if it's followed, all of these letters right here, if you have a C and then you have an E, I, or a Y following it, then you are going to, it's going to force that C to say S, okay? So, but we want the hard K sound. We want it to say S, K, ooh, skew. It's forcing that EW. So we want that K, K, S. So we want it to say K. And so you need to use an S-K-E-W because that is an E. All right? Okay, so that's a rule that is very, very important with your reading and with your spelling, because if you're reading a C followed by a vowel, you better be pronouncing it with a S. And also, if you have an SC, most likely that's going to put you in the Greek language, and it's just going to say, like the word science. Okay, so that is Greek. Now let's look over here when you have hard sounds. Now touch your throat and go, There's like a tickle and there's a vibration. D, d. I mean, there is a solid d, d. You can really hear j, j. See, if you feel those it's completely vibrating. So if you feel those sounds, this is going to say ooh, new, do, d, ooh. And look at my mouth. It's going to say ooh. See, look at my lips. Ooh. Now that hard sound is actually forcing these two letters to say ooh, as in new, ooh, new. And then do, ju, j, ooh, j, ooh. Jesus was a Jew. Jesus is a Jew, right? Drew, d, ooh. See how these hard sounds are going to say ooh, and they're not actually with tons of consonants. You're going to see they're a lot of times with the R's, with the L's. They're just not with tons. Blue, b, ooh, blue. Okay, now this is a homophone. This is blue. I blew air out of my mouth. And then the other blue is spelled with an UE. Yeah, and it's a color. Good, Paul. Now we have new. See, this is new, and this is new. This used to be canoe. This is brand new, and I knew you could do it. Two different meanings, two different spellings, but with the same. This is a homophone. Crew, k, ooh. 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 Crew. Crew. See, in all of that, your tongue is actually staying at the bottom of your mouth. So if you're saying ooh, your tongue is kind of forced backwards and it's staying towards the bottom. Ooh. And your lips are going to go forward. Brew. B, ooh. Brew. Grew. G, ooh. G, ooh. All of these words are used often in the English language. Flew, ooh, ooh, flew, slew, ooh, slew, through, ooh. So see how we have 5 letters in here and we have 3 sounds. Through. Now this right here is a homophone. We have a few words that say through the door. This is I threw the ball. I threw the banana to Paul and he caught it for lunch. How about screw? Ooh. Now look right here. See this C right here? Because this is not an E, I, or a Y. See how it's spelt with a C. See right here, because this is an E, I, or a Y, it's spelt with a K. Because I want the hard K sound. I want it to say K. But so if you can use the C, use the C. If you can't use the C, we can't use the C here because it's going to make it say S. Use a K. All right? Use the C first and then move to the K. And then you move to the CK, but CKs can only fall behind, they can only follow a short vowel. CKs can only follow a short vowel. Now, overgrew. Now you're going to have a lot of them with prefixes, and you're going to have lots of these with prefixes and suffixes. Overgrew. Now, this one right here, fill your throat. If you go t, 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 it's soft. T. Now we talked about with the ed, same thing. So we talked about with the ed, it's the same thing. T. Now, but look at this. This is very solid, and I think it's pretty close to the chew. Stew. See, it's saying ooh. So it won't always follow that, but oftentimes you're going to have these ones with the soft sounds say eu, and the ones with the harder sounds say ooh. Okay, so stew. This says st-oo, stew. It does not say st-eu. You don't say stew, you say stew. So that T sound is forcing that to say ooh. Now this one I felt was very interesting. This says view. And this looks like this could be the vowel team. This is not the vowel team. It actually splits right here, and this is saying V, V. Now, oftentimes if it's the very first syllable, Paul, if it's the very first syllable in a word, honey, then you will typically say vi if it's opened, but not with this word. The rule is if it's the very first syllable, most of the time that first syllable will say its long I sound with the I. And then all of the other syllables inside, if a vowel is following the I, then it's going to say E. But this one is not following that rule. It is saying E, V, U, V, U, E, U. And this is saying E, U, V, U, V, U, V, U. So sometimes it will say, see how this vowels, all vowels, doesn't matter if they're long or short, it's going to say the hard sound. So if you say I, your throat vibrates. If you say I, your throat vibrates. It's a hard sound. It's not vibrating a ton, but they are hard sounds. And you can hear it saying E, U on this. View, and it almost feels like it could be soft. So it's not always going to follow that rule. So just try to figure out how it is actually said. But those are some tricks that could help you. View, V-U, V-U, V, V, E, two syllables, and then it's going to say U. So when you're breaking it apart, you can just use the long U sound. V, V, E, and then U, V-U. And it just blends together. Okay, so now look at the IGH. The IGH says the long I sound. It says I. And you're going to have a few words. There's not a lot of words that actually say we use that way, but they're the words that we use with the IGH, we use all of the time in the English language, and then we use suffixes and prefixes on top of those base words. So it's very important that you know the words that we use in this language all of the time. We use these all of the time. High means high up in the air. Sigh means we're doing a sigh. Nigh means a short distance. It's nigh at hand. It was used more in the past. We don't use it very often. But thigh, this is my thigh. This is my thigh. Can you even see my thigh? This is my thigh. So we use that all the time. So it's important to know all of these words. I would memorize these words and spell them. So this word is a homophone. There's two different words, and these two words are used all of the time in the English language. So this is, you can say high, that is used high and high, completely two different meanings. So make sure that you're understanding the meaning of these words and how they are pronounced. We're just going to go into the A sound. Now we're moving into the eigh. You're not going to have a lot of words in here that we use frequently, but the words that I put in here we use all of the time in the English language, and you need to know how to spell them. This is a full-blown out spelling. You need to actually study this for spelling. Okay, so this says weigh. I will weigh myself. Okay, weigh the meat, weigh the wheat. Okay, and then sleigh, like sleigh bells and the horse is pulling the sleigh.
Like a big sled.
Yeah, exactly. Weigh is measurement. Okay, so you need to understand, and those need to be memorized, that this eigh is saying the long A sound. Okay, also, you have a lot words that are used very frequently that need to be memorized and spelled, and you need to know their meaning. This is the number 8. So that's what this is. This is the number 8. This is how you spell it. E-I-G-H-T. And that word needs to be memorized. It says A, the E-I-G-H says A, the E-I-G-H says A. The E-I-G-H says A. And then you're going to have the T on the end. 8. 8. Now, this word you can use with lots of suffixes. So you have your base word. That's that, your base word, 8 to 8s. And this is a homophone to 8. Well, it's a silent E syllable. It's going to jump over and make this A long. And this is a diphthong that's making this A, this E-I-G-H say A. It's a memorized piece. 8th, 8th, A-T. So you have A and then T. It breaks right here. A-T, A-T, A-T. And then 18th, 18ths, 18ths, 18ths. So it's going to break right here. A-teenths, teenths. So that's how you would say that sound. A-teenths. Hopefully you've worked on your TH, because you won't be able to get that very well if you don't have your sounds. Now we have wait. This is used all of the time in the English language, all of the time. Especially those that are really worried about their weight. This is a measurement, okay? Weigh the wheat. The wheat is going to, this is the weight of the wheat, okay? Now, this also has a homophone. So like this, W-A-I-T. Don't wait for me. It's a completely different meaning. So, but these have lots of suffixes that are put onto it. Weighty, waiter. This is waiter, but then we have a waiter. This is a completely different word, okay? Weighted, waiting, weightless, weightless. But look at this. We're changing one letter, and it's changing the sound. This says height. We went from it saying A to it saying I. You do not have a lot of words that say that E-I-G-H right there that says I. But your base word right here is height. It means a length also. It's the height of something. My height is 5 feet 1 inches. This is height. This is height. Heighten. Heightened, heightening. So see how we're adding suffixes? This is a suffix, this is suffix, 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 suffix. And then this is just a digraph that adds onto it that makes a different sound. Now look, we have freight. So see, the EIGH can say 8, but with a T. So you're going to see a lot of those that with the EIGH ending with the T. Freight. So see how this one says height. This one says A. Freight. Freights. Freighter. Someone who is doing the freight. So freight is bringing in all of the goods. So I used to throw freight when I worked at a grocery store, and that means you are taking all of the stuff that comes out of the truck and you're putting it on the shelf. And the freight is everything big in a big lump sum. Freighted, freighting. Okay, now right here, so we have, see how right here it says the long I sound, high, but right here we have the IGH is still saying the long I sound with the T. And these are words all the time used. These need to be learned how to spell and how to read. Sight, s, I, t, s, I, t, s. I, t, sight. Might, I. See how my mouth is open when I say the I? I, I, t, might. Might, I, t. And then you're going to blend it all together and you're going to say might, might. So these pretty much have homophones. So we needed something else to say the long I sound. It sounds the same, but it means something different. So like we have sight, sight, might, right, right. So just be careful, just memorize them. Know that there are going to be different meanings with these sounds, but remember when you're reading it, you're going to need to say I, t, right. I, t, right. T, I, t, tight, tight. T, I, t, tight. Light. I, t, light. Night. I, t, night. This is all the time used. So get this sound down, know what it means, and then you say the word fight, fight, height, height. Okay, I hope that was really helpful, and good luck with studying your sounds with English. And love you guys. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.